you think it's possible the CIA would have actually been trying to take him out? Could this kid have been hired? Is that ridiculous?
No, I don't think that's ridiculous. I think that's a possibility.
He would have been.
I don't think it's a possibility that somebody did this to, like the left might push something like, oh, this is a Trump conspiracy so that he gets more followers or builds a better, a larger base or something like that. Like, I don't think that's possible.
I think what's more than likely what happened is the news and social media and everybody says he's Hitler. He has to be stopped at all cost. Our democracy will be destroyed if he becomes president. They say that. So you got some kid who's influential, probably 100% believes it.
Oh, yeah.
And so he thinks it's my duty to take it on. That's more than likely
because he's obviously brainwashed like most of our youth today anyways.
Yeah. Well, and because and why wouldn't he be? Like, the left-wing media is saying it, the Biden administration is saying it, Biden on his socials, they're saying all these things. And but honestly,
have you ever just sat down and watched like MSNBC, CNN for large portions, not just
painful.
It's like another planet.
Yep.
No, like,
and it's not this.
If that's what you like, that's your source, and that's you are living in an alter reality.
Let me underscore that a little bit, because I looked at the last roughly 2 weeks of President Biden's social media posts, and I pulled a few quotes out here. We talk about like ratcheting up the temperature in the country, the rhetoric, saying that Trump is Hitler, all these things. There's a problem if you look back at what led to what happened yesterday. There's a problem with the current president's messaging. The day that Trump was shot, yesterday, Biden posted on socials, Americans want a president, not a dictator.
Obviously, this is before he was shot.
The day of. Yeah. Before he was shot. Yes. But kind of going in reverse order here. I'm just gonna go real quick.
Yeah, please go.
He says, "We must stop him. Donald Trump vows to be a dictator on day one," which I want to show a video pertaining to that in a second. Another post, he says, "Donald Trump attempted to overthrow an election, wants to be a dictator on day one," says it again, "and has promised revenge and retribution if he wins. And the Supreme Court he appointed just gave him virtually unlimited immunity to do it. Ask yourself what will happen next." We'll get into that.
What's funny is that side note, that immunity would also apply to him, the president.
The immunity, I'll just speak to it. Yeah. The immunity has been totally branded as the wrong thing. When we talk presidential immunity, it allows the president to do things from like a national security and foreign policy standpoint, to like drone America's enemies overseas and not be prosecuted as a civilian when they get out of the presidency. That's what we're talking about. That doesn't mean that Trump, now that he has been given presidential immunity, which, like you said, all presidents are given presidential immunity, it doesn't mean that he can just do whatever the hell he wants. It's specifically so that he can do the duties of the president, which are unique to the presidency. You and I can't drone people overseas. And so that's what that speaks to. But it's been totally branded and lied about by the left in this country. And then people like the president continue to forward that lie and that misinformation and misinform their
well, that doesn't even remove his felonies that he has, like, recently.
Right. Yeah.
So, like,
people it's not that he's exactly.
He's not immune to all laws, and that's what he's putting it as it is.
Another post: Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy, and we cannot let him win. Trump isn't just a convicted criminal; he's a one-man crime wave. He posted that twice in 2 different ways.
First off, it bothers me when they say we're a democracy, because we are not. We're a representative republic with a democratic voting. So I don't understand. We're not a democracy.
He then says Trump's Project 2025 agenda is extreme and dangerous. Together we must defeat him. He says, "I've been getting a lot of questions about Project 2025 lately. Here's the truth. It's a dangerous takeover by Trump and his allies to pass his extreme MAGA agenda. Project 2025, gutting America's system of checks and balances."
Is his extreme MAGA agenda to lower so I don't have to pay $10 for a gallon of milk? Is that,
I hope so.
Is that what his extreme MAGA agenda is?
Donald Trump is Putin's lapdog. I will never bow down to dictators. Project 2025 should scare every single American. It would give Trump limitless power over our daily lives.
Limitless power.
Limitless power. Yeah, like he's Darth Vader.
Right. That's really absurd. Another 4 years of Donald Trump is deadly serious. Project 2025 is deadly serious. And then, like I said, the day that the assassination attempt took place, like I said, he said Americans want a president, not a dictator. I said that obviously before. But like, this is the sitting president of the United States in the way that he's talking about the current Republican frontrunner.
That's never. I guarantee that no president has ever talked to an opponent in those terms.
First off, it ain't him either. It's somebody else. It's his cabinet. It's his people. I mean, like we all know, we saw that debate. He ain't tweeting anything. It's his people. Right. So
he's asleep in a bowl of ice cream.
Ice cream sounds really good right now. It's hot in this room. It's like wild.
It's like, that's how we get here, though, to this point where you've got the top political leader in our country, and then a very supportive news media that continues to like promulgate this information and this like incorrect viewpoint of the world.
And here's the thing: you talk about dictatorship. That's all these nations that have dictatorship. All the media is controlled by a certain particular political agenda.
Yeah.
And think about how much of our media is left.
Yeah.
The majority of it. Even like Fox News isn't as
how much of our institutions
conservative for me. Yeah,
like
and
businesses, sports, entertainment,
YouTube.
Yeah, and that
all
is
the
what
tech
leads
stuff, YouTube. Before Twitter was purchased, I mean, basically it was nothing but a breeding ground for that.
Yeah, because in my opinion, the left wants a slave labor nation, which is what dictatorships all revolve around. That's what they want. Whether Republicans or Democrats, they all want the same thing. At least the rhinos. Slave labor nation, do what you're told. They have ultimate power. And because Trump is against that, which is why he's hated by Republicans, he's hated by Democrats, and he wants us to have the power and enable us to, live as Americans, he's hated.
The Biden campaign has campaigned on this whole idea that Trump has said he would be a dictator on day one. In two of the social media posts that I mentioned, Biden says that. He said it repeatedly in the debate. It's come up, the news media talks about it. You see articles all the time. I want you to actually play the clip, and anybody who actually like cares to watch this and have form your own opinion and not just be told by the president, not just be told by the left-wing media. I want you to pull up the clip of Trump on Fox News with Sean Hannity.
I thought this was it.
That's not a clip. I don't.
Do I not?
The other thing,
you moved it towards the back.
The other thing, Dave, is like people can't have healthy debate anymore.
No,
that's true.
Like even in our society, like you can't actually talk about issues, and in a where you're both respecting each other's viewpoints and actually have a healthy debate.
Partly because there's all this misinformation and disinformation.
That's a big part of it.
It's like, well, my president. So if you're on the left and you voted for Biden, and Biden is saying these things, if Biden is posting on his social media and saying in debates, Trump said he'd be a dictator on day one, like people are saying, oh, okay, well then, like, surely he wouldn't say that if it's a lie. Surely he wouldn't say that if it's not true. And it is true. Trump said that. But let's watch this and see the context. I think it's very important.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
for?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border and I want to drill.
That's
not
retribution.
I'm going to be, he keeps, we love this guy. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator.
So that sounds to me like you're going back to
okay, so there have been campaign ads cut. Like I said, it's repeatedly been on Biden's social media. It's come up in the debates and in interviews. And then the left-wing media has totally run with this. Yes, he said it. So if we're going to sit here and like fact check it, like you can't say no, he didn't say it. But like people in the room are laughing.
It's tongue in cheek.
It's clearly hyperbole. He says, yes, I'm going to be a dictator to one, shut down the border, and then drill.
Don't you know his media team is like, oh my God, Trump, don't say
but
yes.
Like technically he said it.
Technically, yes.
Obviously, he does not mean it in the way that like Biden goes on to say, he's a threat to our democracy. We have to stop him. It's extreme and dangerous. He's making a freaking joke, guys. Like
And he's just saying that he's going to be super aggressive in getting what needs to be done.
Which
fast.
Which we need, with closing the border.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Learn that, yeah.
And also about, making America energy independent. And then I have another clip, but go ahead.
Real quick, I remember when he got elected the first time, someone I know and I care about, a homosexual, was freaking out saying that he was going to make it illegal. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, the president's not going to make it illegal. She's like, you just watch. He's going to make homosexuality illegal. And I remember when he went out of office, I asked her, so whatever happened to that? She's like, well, we stopped him from doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Trump's not going to go in and make homosexuality illegal. I don't know where people are getting that kind of stuff. So for me, when they say...
I think I just told you.
Yeah, but you can't just trust the TikTok.
Malicious disinformation by people on the left.
I mean, that's wild.
I sent another clip over to you. You can YouTube it too, but I want to pull up the clip, the full clip where he is talking about it'll be a bloodbath if he doesn't get elected. Quick preface. This is one that comes out all the time too, relating to January 6th. I've seen campaign ads cut. I've seen social posts. I've seen, again, the left-wing news media talk about this, how Trump has said it would be a bloodbath if he doesn't get elected. If we think if the country thinks January 6th was bad, he's saying it'll be a bloodbath if he doesn't get elected. Again, context. He said that, yes. What he's talking about here is negotiating with the United Auto Workers Union and negotiating with China and with Mexico and where these vehicles are manufactured. And he's talking about import tariffs. He's, again, speaking in hyperbole here, exaggerating, but saying that it will be a disaster, a bloodbath for our economy,
for trade,
if these things are not negotiated, if the left gets their way, if Biden does gets what he wants here. So go ahead and play. This will be kind of a long clip. But
auto workers never probably shook hands with a Republican before. They're destroying. Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine, all he does is build car manufacturing plants. He's the biggest.
That's probably enough, but it's pretty clear that
so you can piece together, even us, like the average American, and the way that we talk to our wives, our friends, our coworkers, you could piece together a narrative to make us all sound like horrible humans,
right?
And make it and put a twist to it, and that you could totally do that with these clips.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. If you want to see the full podcast, be sure to click on the link in the description. And if you feel like it, hit subscribe.